background.
I know, right?
Things.
Yeah.
Well, we've got quite a few over at the VFW, so
Uh,
glad to donate one. Maybe even
All right, I am here.
Good member of the.
Eleanor is present. No.
Oh,
Al is present. Amal is not, and hopefully he'll be coming in. And then Robert, is it pronounced Eel?
Yes, Eel.
Right, is our new commissioner, and he is present. We also have Marie from the Muni. We have Kyle Huffman from the military PO or PA, and the Jeffrey Slaku Jr. from his coordinator from the DMVA. And right now at this point, we do not have a quorum. We can always hope that here sometime soon that Amal will be able to make it in. So not going to go on with any of the business. So I am going to talk about, because we can do that as a committee. We don't have to have a quorum or anything to talk as a committee for the Memorial Day. So we'll talk about that. Put up that information. So for the Memorial Day, I sent the request in, and Kyle distributed out the request for the guest speaker has gone to for Colonel Mabuk. I'm saying that wrong.
Yeah, so I could just touch on it real quick if you want. I did send it up to Colonel Mabbitt's office. I'm just waiting to hear back on that and what her calendar is like. If not, she will come back with somebody else to speak. But usually she's pretty good about that. The chaplain, I know David, I think he connected with you about also being a guest speaker. So if he didn't, let me know. And then I just got confirmation this morning that we will be able to have color guard. So that's the salute and everything for that day, just like it has been done in past. So they just needed clarification, but that's all cleared up and they should be good to go.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And yes, the chaplain has contacted back with me.
Okay, sounds good. Usually Color Guard doesn't reach out to the event POC till a little bit sooner. We are still a little bit out. But if you just need to talk to them about anything, or you have some questions, or you have check-in information, you can send it my way and I'll just bug them and let them know you'd like to talk to them sooner. So just keep me in the loop for that.
Yeah, just as long as they get with me, at least like before around the beginning of May, end of April, beginning of May. And that way, just so we can, because we're going to have a date that we're going to set for everybody to just have everybody meet over there.
Okay.
And have a little talk through, so you can see where the site's at, where they're going to come up, where the chaplain will be there, we'll be there. It's just nice to have everybody there so they can see it.
Okay, great. When you guys decide when you're doing a site visit, if you just send me the information and I can also pop over there too, I'd love to attend.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm a little bit confused. Well, that's normal. Air Force Memorial and then Memorial Day. So they're not tied together? They're two different separate issues altogether?
The 11th Air Force Memorial is the flags and the memorial that are on the back side of
what we talked about a while back.
Right.
Okay.
that back there.
it's kind of like.
Yeah, I got you. That was on my mind. Yeah, I got you now. Because we hadn't talked about it in a while.
Right, because we haven't been able to really do anything.
And that's done through Parks and Rec.
Yeah, well, it's going to be, it's our part, and now we got to do our part again, because we just gathered the information and gave it to the mayor. And then it was for the mayor of the municipality to figure out what they want to do with it, because it is on basically city property.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on municipality property that was donated to them, but it's sitting on top of a dump that used to be back on that side. And so it's there, it's falling apart. And there was at one time before COVID, there was a thing that was happening that was looking at getting it moved on to J-Bear. That's not going to happen anymore. All the people that were involved in that are gone, long gone. And moving it over there takes it from where people can see it. So now it's just Parks and Rec, like we don't have the money to repair it or maintain it. So it's just giving the information and what do they want to do with it as they go down, because it's sitting there. And if you don't know the history of the 11th Air Force Memorial, 20 some years ago, right in the beginning of the 2000s, there was a 11th Air Force Association that wanted to put a monument up here because the original 11th Air Force headquarters was on Merrill Field when they first came up here. And so that's why they put a memorial over there, and they raised a bunch of money. They built it. They got donated, a lot of stuff working at donated. They got the ground donated from municipality. They engineered it, they did it. And the Sergeants Association was maintaining it. And then little by little, the 11th Air Force group down out of Colorado just disappeared. The 11th Air Force Association kind of stopped maintaining it. And it just, there's some places now where the ground has gone down or the pieces have gone up or both a good 2 feet. And now, luckily the thing was very much over-engineered, so it's not, but it's, the panels have got pins in them to kind of hold them and use each other to keep them from falling. But it's, right now it's barricaded off because it's unsafe. So people are complaining about that.
So the state of Alaska has a memorial endowment fund that's awarded every year for the purpose of either creating new monuments or the upkeep and fixing of existing monuments. So that's something that's you guys might want to think about looking into. It's a couple. It comes from the sale of veterans license plates from the DMV. And so every time that there's a sale of those or a renewal of veterans license plates or stuff like that. So it's a couple thousand. In the past, I think it's gone up to about $10,000. It usually averages somewhere between like $7,000 to $9,000. I don't know how much the whole cost of that is, but it's something to think about. I mean,
That's a start, but
right. I mean, I doubt it's the full amount, but
I think the lighting just like it's not lit anymore because all the lights that were put in there were based off of the old lighting or the electrical conduit that went through the backside. Well, they've redone that whole conduit and it is now no longer the same wattage that it was before, and wattage or voltage or whatever it is. So now none of the lights and nothing in the Run the Memorial will work and have to be totally redone. I think somebody had gotten a quote, the airport had got a quote that was like around 16,000 just to redo the lighting.
yeah. And I mean, there's always the possibility too. Our office is always trying to help those types of projects,
Yeah.
State projects. We've done stuff out on like ADAC and A2. We've done veteran cemeteries up in Nome where we've helped put in memorials for some of their veteran cemeteries. So that endowment fund has been going for almost 1 year now.
The cemetery out here or something.
Yeah, I think we did one out here at the,
The veterans, or even the civilian one, or even the park strip, that used to be a runway.
yeah,
It was like the beginning of an airport.
yeah.
Something.
And I know
like that.
our office, we helped when the the park strip flag had been, I think it got, I don't know if it got destroyed or if it got damaged in
Yeah.
a windstorm or something. I remember we helped with that. So our office is always trying to help with those exact situations, you know, so.
Yeah, and it's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
I mean,
so, I mean, I can send you guys the information on the endowment fund and, you know, you guys could at least look at it. And like I said, it gets applied for by various organizations. We usually have like one or two a year. And then the Veterans Advisory Council to the governor, they vote on it every year on which memorial to, or which, application to grant those awards to, so.
Well, he
I know.
nominated me for this project with the Samsung.
Yep.
So, and I've been thinking like, well, who do I go to? You know, other than the park. I'm sure the city park place, got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, send me something.
Okay,
I'll give you my email.
yeah, I'll send you the info.
Okay,
Yeah.
my text is better.
Okay, for additional clarification, you just talked about the wing commander and honor guard and stuff. What are they gonna do?
This is for Memorial Day. You were here last year, remember the Memorial?
Yeah, but I'm getting confused now. You're talking about not the Memorial, 11th Air Force. So, okay, well, when you just mentioned that didn't tie into the 11th Air Force thing. Okay, because we were talking about that and then,
Yeah, we got segued to the 11th Air Force off of your question and we just,
okay.
I just let it go because it was good
I
discussion.
was trying to tie them together. I couldn't do it.
I like history,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, okay.
But going back to the Memorial Day ceremony, and this is on the park strip over here. So we got that, I've got the request in. The request has been submitted for the packet. It contains the request for the special ceremony, the right of way, noise, you got the noise piece to it, the fire department, the police, all of the different pieces to it that, and they'll go through. We send it into Kathleen over at the the office she's at now, but she takes it in and then she distributes the pieces out to where they need to go. And then gives me answers back on it.
So you want me to get a hold of the youth corps like I did last
That's what I
year?
was gonna ask you, if you would,
Oh, okay.
if you would get a hold of Youth Corps. And
I
I'll get a hold of the downtown partnership about the chairs. And so the pieces, sure, so.
And have you put a request into for the band, like,
I put in a request for the band and Kyle said, nope, we can't get the band. So now we need to start looking at what can we do?
Band anymore.
No.
they're at.
No, they're in Hawaii. But remember, we were told by the lieutenant before he left that we could still possibly get the band if we put a request in and they would bring them up here. Kyle has checked into, she said, nope. And
You know, we
so,
got so many bagpipers in Anchorage and in the valley. Let's get some bagpipers together. That is just like,
They were
I know at least two.
well, yeah, but so the question with that is, because remember, they're playing at the beginning, they're playing when they're laying the wreaths, it's a lot of bagpipes.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a local band anymore. There is the band in Hawaii, and you're more than welcome to try to request them. I'm just gonna let you know that it's most likely wouldn't happen. Not that they don't care, but they get a lot of requests. And because it's just them for the area now, they're focused on the big events. And so you're more than welcome to put in that request with the link, but I think we might have to start using local talent.
Yeah.
Have
We have any
you,
VFWs or?
have you guys ever heard of the
Regions?
Glacier Brass?
Yes, they'll be playing at the park, at the cemetery and trying to get them to be able to come here and
Yeah.
set up and then move. It's not, it won't happen.
Okay, yeah.
But we need somebody like them.
Yeah, they're the guys we use for our Veterans Day ceremony every year, so, yeah, they're really good. And I know a lot of them are veterans too, so, yeah. Yeah.
Some, the sons of,
In the Midnight Suns.
Midnight
course,
Suns, yeah.
They'll be at the Park Strip also.
Oh, no.
Or
Yeah,
at the cemetery also.
Cemetery, yeah, I know
Yeah.
they do that every year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's a matter of finding another
Group or.
little brass quartet, synctet, 4 or 5 pieces that could play patriotic music leading up to it and then during the laying of the wreaths and the national anthem and the state song.
I don't know, but does like the university, do they have a band at all or music talent there by chance?
That was my
was think-
thought.
I was
Let me
thinking
follow
of,
up on that. Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
heard of them.
No,
'Cause they don't-
If you'll take that piece on, trying to find either maybe the college,
High school.
no, high schools are a thing, but a lot of the high schools are graduating the week before, that
Oh,
week, or
God.
the week after.
Well, yeah, the week after, yeah,
Yeah.
they graduate the middle, the
Yeah.
UA graduates on, I think, the 7th. But I will check into different options.
If you just check different options and that, I mean, we always have the backup of the backup. If nothing else, we play all the music off the sound system.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Okay, but that does become a little bit more of a pain, but it can be done.
What day does Memorial Day fall on there?
26th.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, I'm not gonna be here, but I will be here. I'll be back.
Yeah. Okay.
Bob, don't be afraid to speak up. If you have any ideas?
Okay, I will.
Yeah. So you're gonna check on the music portion. You're gonna check with the youth corps for one platoon.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get with, yeah. Remember what we asked for last time and they sent 2 and we had,
Well, they
And-
actually ended up sending 3 or 4.
Oh, did they?
They wanted the kids to get out,
okay,
you
well,
know.
they can send as many as they want to, but we
Right.
need just help,
At least one.
handing out flyers, marking the VIP parking spots, helping set up the chair, that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah. Okay, one corps.
But if I said
Give or
1 or
take.
2, if they want to do 2, that's fine. I don't care about, I don't care if we have kids running around all over the place. But I'll put a couple of them down at the end of the street. So when the motorcycles come through, they can slide the barriers off, let them through and slide them back. So I'm not running down the street,
Yeah, yeah.
going into a heart attack trying to get over there. in
We
time.
don't want that.
All right.
And you guys already have a chaplain? You
Yep.
Still have a Chaplain Slaughter's number.
Yep, I got a chaplain. I got to call, Sergeant Major or Master Sergeant Schultz. He told me before, he's more than happy to do it again this year. And anytime we want, but I haven't, I gotta send an email to him or call him and say, are you still up? If not, then I'll be submitting another request to Kyle for a Master of Ceremonies. But I was gonna let him go first, so I gotta get a hold of him yet. That's where I was going here. Let's see. So I wanted to. Chairs. Oh, and we still gotta do the, and then I'll do that with you. I'll get there. I will call them, have them send me and you the, invoice.
Okay,
And that's so that and that way you can have it in yours for the porta potties. Okay. So I'm trying to think now, so that's the youth corps, no, plus the flags. There was a platoon of people that, and then the flags, so they were gonna have the flags that we put behind the stage.
I don't know. I didn't do the flags last year, so I don't know much about that.
It was the youth corps.
Oh, the youth corps.
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't have the 50 flags, the state flags anymore, which is just fine. I got to be a lot when wind was blowing. But I think they still provided I believe it was the state and the service flags. The state, the service flags at least, because the color guard is gonna come up and they can post the one, but I believe it was the service flags. You can double check with them. But I think it's just the service flags. It could have been the service and the US and state flag, but
Oh, okay.
We all remember also to get the this thing down, taken down there too.
Yeah. And that's something, as we get closer, we'll work on making sure that we get this taken down there for it. I've got the invitations for the senators, congressmen, and the governor. For the military leaders, the generic one for the military leaders, and for the state legislators. I've got those, and I gotta just, now that I've finalized with Marie, I'll be sending those to her this week so she can get the mayor's signature on it. And I don't know if you guys have her sign it or if you guys got a stamp or what.
Yeah.
They had a digital block that they put on the other one. And then that way they'll be printed off and mailed out from the mayor's office to them. And I've got the flyer. I'm gonna be sending the flyer to her also. And so she can digitally, and the flyer, I'll include everybody. So that way we can post it onto the websites and our Facebook, and we can distribute it out to people that we know, to organizations that we know, so they have it. And then she's gonna have some printed off. So then we can, one of us can come in and get that from her, and we can distribute it to the rest of us, so we can, hand those out to the different VFWs, American Legions, VA, the DMVA. Everybody will get those handouts so people can get them and put them up different places and have them in their offices.
Right.
So people see it like every year. And that's where things are right now. I got the letter for the neighborhood, but we don't need to worry about that until we get to May. And the flyer, once we get a little bit closer and I have a little bit of things I can finally see, the backside of the flyer has the thanking everybody. We know who's there. It's also has the a few of the names that are in there. So until I can finalize a few more pieces of it, like the band, and then I'll finish up and get you the program. It's not flyer, the program.
Okay.
And those are ones that we have to get printed off in May, so we have them
At the event.
at the
yes.
thing.
Yes.
And for information purposes, we talked about the flyers for it, they're noise flyers that we pass around to the community there. About a week before, to let them know that there's gonna be some rifle shooting,
Okay, got it.
so it doesn't disturb the people and they're not in shock of we being attacked and whatever.
Yeah.
Sure.
And the motorcycles too,
Yeah,
right?
the motorcycle, yeah, so
Yeah.
And then- normally, I can go ahead and do that when it comes time, and then we get some other people want to help out. It takes a couple of us to do it,
Yeah.
three.
Have you been in the memorial ceremony down here on the park strip here in town?
No, I've never I've never been part of that,
Okay.
so.
And it's funny, there's a lot of people, but there's a lot of people that
I just wanted to go, but I
don't
it
have it.
was on my day when I was working, so I couldn't take the day off to do that.
A holiday.
It's a holiday though,
He works for Anchor Rides,
so anchor ride.
Oh,
so they don't have days off.
bring some
Yeah.
veterans over,
It's a really good
from the
attendance.
Pioneer Home or something.
How's the attendance?
That's what, about 300, I'd say? It
Yeah.
was,
300?
I was
Yeah.
impressed.
Like with everything in Alaska, weather will make a difference.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it starts off 9:30. We have motorcycles that line up on 11th Street between I and L.
Okay,
And then they come out onto I Street and they come north up to 9th. Then they turn and they go back over to the L, right? Is when it goes the other way. And then they turn to L and they go back to 10th. So they're doing a little
Oh, yeah, big
circle
circle.
around the park strip.
okay.
And then they turn on 10th and they come up. And then right up, a little more than halfway, we'll have a ramp that the motorcycle club brings. And it sits there and they turn and they come up onto the grass and they line up along with that one tree that's right there in the middle of the park.
Okay, I know that tree.
And then they do their little rum, and boom. And then the rest of the ceremony starts right after that. That kicks off the ceremony.
And they kind of just put a message on there.
Mhm. She said, I know we already ran through the band talk, but maybe Anchorage Concert Association could support. So just a thought. So that's a good suggestion, Kyle. I'll make a note and see.
And that-
Oh, well, can somebody else do that?
yeah,
We have I'd hate to do it because we have like an arts grant that we open to the community. And they might be eligible to apply for a grant, so I'd hate to ask them for a favor
Oh,
if they're going to apply for a grant. You know what I mean? I just want for it not to come from us.
Yeah, you just need the.
Well,
Grass ones.
Al's gonna be working on the music, so he could talk to them too. Anchorage Concert Association,
Yeah,
Well, that's an option for
the band.
the band.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they can put a little acapella there together.
And we met the head of the Alaska Scottish organization at the Meet the World at Ferrandi last weekend.
Oh,
I can contact him. They must have bagpipers in their
Yeah, well,
community.
we're gonna have,
Yeah.
understand, there will be a bagpiper
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Because we have a bagpiper that comes with the, for doing the Fallen Warrior ceremony.
mhm.
I'm also, has a backup if we don't get a band, a brass quartet or something. If we don't have that, I do have a backup for someone to be here to do taps.
Mhm. Oh, nice.
Because I've hooked up, the guy that used to be in charge of the Bugles Across America, Gene Horner, passed away last year. He's a friend of
Yeah,
mine.
and my suspicion,
And,
and Jensen.
Dave Jensen is now taking that over. And so I've gotten his contact and I told him what we do. So I'll be working with him for a bugler. If we need him there, because if we have a brass 4 or 5 piece setup here, then they would go ahead and take care of taps and all that stuff also. If not, then I'll make sure that we have a bugler here for taps.
Dave Jensen is the dog photographer here in Anchorage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Uh-huh. Oh, he is. Yeah.
Great pictures.
And then, of course, I'll also mention him about the music, and if he knows anybody, then I'll pass that information on to you. Yes. He's in the brass world. You might have an idea.
What did you use last year for the band?
Army band,
You can't use them again this
they're
year?
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally, I got a call last year. We were told that we wouldn't be able to have the band because they were leaving and they weren't taking any gigs. And a month after I was told that, I got a call. Hey, this is Staff Sergeant so-and-so with the Army band, just calling to make sure that you're still going to be using us this year. And I said, I was actually leaving the cemetery, trying to figure out what to do. And I said, I stopped and I pulled over and I said, yeah, we'd be more than happy to use you. I was told that you guys aren't accepting that I didn't request it because I was told that you guys aren't accepting any more things. He goes, oh yeah, we're not accepting anything, but we knew you were coming up and we were planning on doing it. So you would be our last one. And so they showed up and they did us last year.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
How would they move a band all the way to Hawaii? Where they, I mean.
Because the person makes decisions is down in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I said, we don't need a band here and a band up there.
Well, you
It's,
should drive your car someplace, in the lower 48, it's expensive to bring a band.
Well, that pack app.
it's a major command.
Yeah, pack app.
Yeah, I know.
The major command is down there and they're like, we got 2 bands. We got one here and we got one in Hawaii and Alaska and one in Hawaii. We don't need fan both places. So,
Asinine.
yeah, because now they have an Army band in Hawaii and an Air Force band.
Of course. Probably Marines got something too, trust me.
Yeah, on top, yeah.
So,
The commanding general for the Army down there for PACA was saying, how come every time we do something, we have an Air Force band and not an Army band?
the first guard unit that I was in Van Nuys, California, they had a band, a guard unit had a band, the only one in the country. I don't know if there's any guard units in the country that have any bands nowadays. I don't know. I know ours didn't have a band.
Dave, when you're handing
Different
out
kind of a
the,
band. Bandits, maybe.
when you pass out the notices for the Memorial Day, don't forget the cemetery office there because that's a lot of people go through there.
Yeah. They can put one over there. They'll let me put one there being I'm intricate to their ceremony too.
You plan to go there one day.
What's that?
You plan on going there one day?
No, I'm the MC for their ceremony. That's come I leave. I help get things started and we get things started and rolling at the park strip. And then about halfway through, I have to take off and get my car and drive because I'm the MC for the Memorial Day ceremony at the cemetery.
So I'm going through
Yeah.
the process right now of making myself a permanent resident one day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I go every time too.
Unless they come up with some magic drugs and then I'll just keep visiting there for the next 300 years.
But until they come up with that, yeah, we're all gonna be there soon, eventually.
Yeah, I hope the
Alright.
drug comes with money too, to live 300 years. We're all gonna
Yeah,
live
'cause my
300
retirement will
years.
last that long.
Yes.
So if you, just one more thing, if you're an anchor rights driver, do you have, do you go to the Pioneer Home? 'Cause I
Oh,
hear
yeah, we
there's
go to Pioneer
veterans-
Home all the time.
Well, and that's, I don't see too many of them here at the ceremony in May. And I'm just wondering if, because of transportation or something, but now that you're here, you kind of, maybe could work something out for some of those veterans,
The,
they can be here for that.
The Pioneer Home is across the street from the memorial.
Some
It
of them
is.
can't walk. Some of them can't walk, it's a walk.
And
It's
also
a bit
the,
of a walk.
the state pioneer down the road too, which, that, what's that, 11th and 13th and 8th? 13th and H, I think it is.
Hmm.
The state one, right? You know where that's at, right?
Yeah, 13 and 8.
I thought they were all state ones.
Is the one the one you're talking about just now, is that the state?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Pioneer Home.
yeah.
It is, okay. There's two of them in?
No, I think.
Well,
that's-
I'm sorry, you said Pioneer Home.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the state senior living,
Okay,
yeah, different, but I always let them know, I did last year.
Yep.
I know a lot of the old folks like to get out,
They did.
and they're limited.
So if we could talk to the Pioneer Home, and if we get all the extra cadets, we could have them walk their cadets over there, put the old people in wheelchairs and that and wheel them back over.
Well, yeah, and I know, Linda Muth, Tammy Linda, who's the director over there now. Her husband used to be in the Guard. I worked with her dad for years at the Guard. So, yeah, they can work something out.
Well, you just volunteered for it, so why don't you just see if you can coordinate, no, see if you can coordinate something, see how,
That's true.
because they always like it, ask,
Yeah, that's
how
true.
can we,
And we got the driver.
Yeah. well, I don't know if he'd be able to, it's a city property though.
Yeah.
But maybe she has an idea of how they can get the people over there, if they'd like to do it.
Good idea.
Well, the Pioneer Home has a high school band that go over there and perform at the Pioneer Home.
There you go.
What's that?
You said, they have Pioneer Home has a high school band that comes and
I'm not
plays.
sure if it was Bartlett or which high school it was, but it
Sounds like Bartlett, maybe.
could have been.
Nice.
Place for what?
They have the band from the high school. They perform at the Pioneer Home.
Oh, yeah, we got the check with the college, check with the high school, and then we have those things.
Have,
But,
Yeah, I'm gonna check with the,
ROTC,
with the
they
school,
have
already had that.
ROTC
Yeah.
stuff.
But that said, that the things that we look at, we haven't looked at them in the past because we had a band. Now we have to look at the college and at the high schools, but the big problem that we're gonna face with them is not so much getting them, it's the fact that it's right around the end of the school year
Oh,
Yeah, that's
between the high schools and the colleges, so.
Morning.
Yeah.
They
And it's
do a
2
lot of their stuff in the afternoon or even in the evening.
And it's 2 weeks before the high school was graduated anyway, I want to check with him anyway, so it
Yeah.
doesn't,
Well, no, I we definitely check with them. I just said, it's one of the things that we have to look at is they could very well say no, because it is close to graduation for all the high schools and for that. And it is a weekend. It is a holiday
Right.
weekend. So getting the kids to be there, like with everything, it's, people have to say, yes, we'll do it. And,
Yeah.
yeah, so, but that's I know they said the college does have a pretty extensive musical piece over there because I've seen where they put on different shows over there in their little auditorium. Was it Wendy?
Williamson.
Williams.
I know the UAA assistant administrator over there, so I'll talk to him.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what we got going with that. Does anybody have any questions or anything else to add?
I want to go back to the, because since this is not really an official meeting.
Yeah.
So there's actually no minutes to take, because we're not having a meeting.
Mhm.
But you said you had some notes as far as the corrections. Can you give me those three mentions you had? And then I'll get them corrected. And then when you can officially approve the minutes, and we'll have them corrected. I know one was on military representative, he or she, I corrected that.
Yeah, so, all right, so under committee reports for the Air Force Memorial, Ellen's name, her first name.
Eleanor will coordinate it.
Well, Eleanor's my legal name.
Yeah,
but-
no, but before that,
Yeah, Lauren
the
Lawson.
departure.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't have that.
Right there at the very beginning where it says Lauren.
okay.
Who's that?
Who is that?
What's that?
Who is
Who is
Lauren
Lauren?
Lawson? That's my question.
Well, that's a misspell of Eleanor Lawson.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense now. Gotcha.
And you said you already got the she under
Yeah,
military representatives?
yeah, you said there's one more?
Yeah, one more down in new business. And this is where the confusion that you said you had.
Okay, I think I had that
Yeah,
figured out.
under Memorial Day, all right, it's not as stated above with Eleanor because she volunteered for the 11th Air Force Memorial. Memorial Day, I just said because we're short on people that I would go ahead and head that.
Okay, so I know I got it straight. Got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Great. Can I add something to the agenda or?
Yep.
Since we have a new member, I wonder if we could all do introductions and just your name, your history in the commission, why you're here, just real quickly, and also just a quick kind of orientation for Robert here, but also I think it will benefit everybody.
Okay.
Boards and commission, as I had told Robert before, it's open to the public. So if there are topics maybe that the public's interested in, they're always welcome to come. Also, we still need more members. So if you know anyone interested and they'd like to come to attend a meeting, that's always welcome. It's always the third or the first Monday unless it's a holiday. So there's always online participation available. Also, we do, follow Robert's rules very lightly. So people call it Robert Light because we know the value of Robert's rules just to make it efficient,
Yeah.
but we don't want it to stop people because sometimes it could be intimidating.
And I'm not very good at it.
Oh, it's there's so much to it. Neither am I. So, but we'd like for it to be a productive meeting and we don't want sometimes people are afraid because they don't know Robert's rules and it's totally okay. Like I said, I don't know it either, but for making the meetings efficient, that's what it is to make sure we cover everything that's on the agenda.
All right.
And then the other one is Open Meetings Act. Boards and commissions of the municipality are subject to the state Open Meetings Act, which says that we do have to let the public know of our public meeting. That's why it's public noticed. Also, business, no more than 3 of you can meet together and discuss business, because that means without public noticing it, because you can't make business decisions that has not been
Forum.
public noticed. So that also applies to text and email. So I would, and it doesn't happen with this group, but in our emails, if I email you things, questions, always reply just to the sender. like if the chair sends you something to all, always reply just to the sender and not to all, because that could be construed as doing business by email, which is not open to the public. So be very careful of those communications because of the State Open Meetings Act. Also, for everybody, I think I will send all of you and Robert as well, the disclosure form for any conflict of interest that's required of all boards and commission members, but it may have been a while since you had, maybe even never. So we'll make sure we get you that form signed, and the municipal clerk's office keeps them. Great.
I thought we did that when I did.
You may have, but just to update it, and might be a good practice to just.
Yeah, because I
make
think it's
sure we
supposed to
have
be
it.
done like every year.
That's kind of what I thought too, yeah.
That they're like most companies and.
Yeah, because your situation may have
Yeah.
changed for a year. Yeah, so if you don't mind, Mr. Chair, could we go around just to let maybe Robert know why you're here and the work of the commission?
Dave Foley, I'm the chair of the commission, and we there's a whole list of things you can go and misplay, but basically our job is to look for and find all ways that we can advise the mayor on ways that can best help the relationship between the military and veterans communities and the municipality.
Okay.
And I was Army, active for 12 years, and Guard up here for 17. Have that 29 years total.
Okay.
And that.
Oh, and I'm Ellen Knorr Lawson, and better known as Ellen, and ELLE. Anyway, yeah, I'm retired from the Air Guard, 32 years, and that's about it.
My name is Robert Eal, and my background up here in the military is I've served in the Air Force, originally up in Eielson. So that was from 1988 to 1991. Then after that, I joined the Navy, which was in 2002 after I graduated college. So I was in the Navy for 12 years, Navy Reserves up here. That was at Fort Richardson. So, but did about 15 years total in the military, serving the community. And it was a great opportunity to be in the Navy Reserves as well. I was on the USS, I can't remember US. Well, anyways, I did
The ship, right?
the ship.
Yeah.
USS Mount Vernon was decommissioned, but I went on that from Seattle to Valdez.
So what'd you do for the Navy?
I was communications. So I did, it was IT, it was a cross rate as communications with the ships. So we sent communications to the other ships, but it has to be encrypted. So that's pretty much my background. I was from Michigan, so born in
We'll
Livonia.
give you for that.
For-
I don't know.
That's about it. I got some more for you, but there's only there's a time limit there.
Al Millspaw, and before I forget, if there's anything that you feel that you want to do, but you're not really sure, believe me, we'll all help out. We're a team.
Okay.
So don't feel shy, because we're all learning this together, except for Dave. Dave's been around for 100 years, 99 years. But I was raised in Michigan. You might have heard that before. I'm called Michigander. I was a Boy Scout till I was 8 till
Michigan geese.
18. I was in the Air Force for 20 years. I was in communications, and just
Same thing.
maybe you did. But we had classified stuff that we dealt with, and we had to encrypt and all this other stuff.
Right.
for the first 13 years. Then after that, I went to program management where I managed communication projects. And married a wife from Spain and have 2 kids. And I was a boys, I coached soccer and swimming and everything else. As my kids grew up, I was a Boy Scouts commissioner and Anchorage police officer, reserve, and on the Anchorage Animal Control Advisory Board and on Community Council, rep to the food bank. We do a lot of things. So I enjoy doing community activities.
And I'm Jeff Slakey. I work for the State Office of Veterans Affairs, as program coordinator. So here in my capacity as a person who, is a kind of a state representative, just to bring my state knowledge of veterans issues. And I'm a Army veteran myself, 4 years, served in Iraq for 15 months. So yeah.
Well, I guess I'll add a little bit since everybody else did a little bit. I didn't do anything as exciting as you guys did, being in the Navy and on a ship. But I was a crew chief, C-130s,
Not bad.
and I was air delivery rigger. So, I mean, and those were kind of jobs that women didn't do a whole lot of during my time anyway. Up till now, nowadays, they do everything. So, yeah, it was an exciting career. I flew everywhere I went. So. But
Her arm's tired.
that's what I did, huh?
Said, boy, her arm's tired. And then on the screen up there is Kyle.
Mhm.
Kyle is one of our military liaisons. Kyle, you want to go ahead and give him a little bit about yourself?
I'm Kyle and I'm from Jaber Public Affairs. I am born and raised here in Eagle River, so I am going to be here forever. We love Alaska. My husband and I are here, and we're both civilians, so we should be around for a while.
Well, thanks for serving in the capacity that what you're doing.
And so that's that work. And then we have Amal, who's in New York, as we said, and he's he was a former Army. And then when he was in that.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna call this then. Unless you got anything else? Anybody else?
I'm sending right now an email to you all with that disclosure of economic interest form. And also, Robert, it's a link to the municipal code, but I also have the text here of what the goal of the commission is for the Anchorage Municipal Code. So it's like a list of 10 or 11 items. But that's what the commission is for. And if you have any special interest that you'd like the commission to tackle, that's what the members are here for. So
All right.
just feel free to
Sure.
think about it and let us know.
Yeah, I got a couple things. I got a question on the shared drive. Who's made the shared drive up? Was it you, Dave, or?
No, it was Jacob.
Jacob, okay. So my question is, number one is, I'm assuming the link to it, is that open to everybody to see?
Yes,
No problem. So,
open to all of us.
okay, well, that's my question. That's why I put on the minutes here, see Dave if you want to get the link, because the link, if they get in the link and then they can get access to the information, but can they, if they're not a member, can they still change anything, or can just the members
They
change
can't
stuff?
see it.
Okay,
That is just a place for the commission. And Marie is the only person right now with the municipality that has, because it's changed out. I mean, before, I think 2 of the people did, but Marie has the access to it. That is just a place for us to share our documents.
Right.
Where we have a place to put them. So if something happens to one of us, the stuff is there. And then it's also a place where we can put stuff so Marie can get it, and she can also go put stuff there for us.
right. But my question kind of is, say the link should get out to somehow, and they click on the link. They can't make any changes. It's been stored some other person, right? They cannot do it because we only have, read-write capability for members. Am I correct on that or
Yep.
not?
Yep.
So it doesn't hurt to publish the link because anybody can go in there and look at the stuff, but they can't make changes. Is that correct or not?
It's not a public, Google Docs. It won't be. Yeah, maybe we'll discuss it more, because what's your purpose of having it open for everybody?
Well, no, it's not my purpose. I just want to know because, like I put in here in the minutes here, first I was going to put the link in there under the shared drive. I said, well, I need to find out whether the link should be, if I put it in there, is that going to cause any problems? You know,
Yeah,
Oh, because it's a public document.
because it's a public document.
right, but we need to put it in a location where it's actually accessible by the public
Yeah,
and not
if
that.
you write the link in there, no, because
Yeah.
it's not gonna be a link where they can click on and
Well,
go
that's-
to it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
if I put the link in there, it doesn't hurt anything. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one question. Then if you weren't around to maintain, because I guess you're kind of the administrator right now.
Well, I am now. Sam was.
Okay, but you are now,
Jacob was, and then Sam
right?
Was, but I am now.
Okay, so then you'll pass it down to somebody else like Anna Marie has the access. See, all of a sudden tomorrow you're incapacitated. And what happened to the link then?
We all have the same access.
Okay, so, okay.
Yeah,
and that-
we are, every member of the commission, Anne Marie, we all have the exact same access to it. So any one of us can go in and add members, remove members, and we all have the same administrative access to it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's my question.
Yeah,
That's why, and I'm sorry, I don't think I got back to you. I remember now you had sent some before you were trying to upload something.
Yeah, I figured it out.
Okay.
Finally, it was kind of hard to figure it out, but, and I found out that you can't, like, for instance, I tried to put the presentation I did at the CAC in there to a place that wasn't open for PDF. It was just, JPG. And you can't cross under the presentation section of the drive there.
okay.
I can't put a JPG in there, you know, it gotta be a PDF.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Or actually, it's got a presentation format, you know, because they got their own format. So I found out you can't cross format.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had a section in there for just presentations.
Yeah, they do, because I tried to put the presentation I did in there, and I tried to put the picture that somebody took in there, and I couldn't do it. And that was my question to you,
Oh,
is can I do it? And so how? But I figured out you can't do it, and I figured how, you know, to upload it from my computer.
Okay.
So I figured that out. If you guys have, it's a little cumbersome, I found myself, but I'm pretty much computer literate, you know. But if you have any problems,
Illiterate.
illiterate, I'm illiterate. Anyway, yeah, that's my question on that.
You're not smart.
Can,
Okay, and the other one was, just for information, I attended the CAG meeting, that's the Community Action Committee over at Fort Richardson, where they meet once a month until now. And that's where they get, all the different for Fort Richardson and Elmendorf. They get together, the Wing commander there and the Army, I'm not sure what they're called, the person in charge of the Army, not the AG, but and then they present to everybody that's there all the happenings, all the different clubs, what you can do, what's coming up, calendar. It's fantastic. A lot of information there. Matter of fact, it's bothersome. There's too much information. But I attended that, and I think it went over okay. I talked to somebody who knew you. Did they ever call you? And I talked to somebody there who knew you, and he said he's going to call you about joining this. But you got no call, right?
no.
Okay, that's typical.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was great. But they're changing the format now. They're going to starting this month and with more information coming down. It's going to be like a fair type thing where you go to this room and there's like different booths. And that's how you find out the information, because I talked to Colonel Babbitt after that. I invited her also, you know. I doubt she'll come, but I invited her. But fantastic person. I met her a couple, 3 times so far. And, she's really interested in what we do like that. So, and anything you need to know, she said, just let, if you need any help from her, just give her a call.
Well, hopefully she follows through that, means that we've asked her to be our guest speaker for the Memorial Day ceremony.
Yeah, but I want her to come here.
Yeah. Speaking of that, and then you get done with that?
Yeah.
Because I want to, Kyle, you said you sent this out some information earlier today, and you said you wanted to just talk about it real fast?
Oh yeah, we can just talk about it. So we are soliciting for we have a civic leader program here, and it's under Colonel Mabbitt, and so for anyone that wants to get more involved and meet with her and whatnot, we are soliciting for applications through June. So if you know anyone or whatnot, please share the information, or you talk to anyone in the community. There's some rules and everything on who can apply and whatnot, but all of that's included in the email, so feel free to just share that.
Okay. Fantastic. I'm sure Al will have his application done in no time.
That's one thing I do. I do stuff fast. I don't like waiting around for 2 or 3 weeks for stuff. And one more thing I've got too, David sent an email out to all of us regarding the unclaimed, unaccompanied brothers ceremony. It was last Wednesday. I went there, and it's really great.
Didn't you guys see that? I sent you guys all an email on
Got two letters.
Yeah.
Monday.
Dave, you sent it to all of us.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, I went there and it was great.
They are great.
There were a lot of people there. I'd say about 20 of us were there, mostly tied to the military. But
Yeah, I was gonna go, but all of a sudden we had an emergency meeting. It was called at 3:00, so I couldn't go to there and be back for the meeting. And my wife was there. One of my brothers was there.
But yeah, it was, I know I mentioned that it was a really nice ceremony.
By the time I
And
saw
they
it.
haven't done it. I know a lot about the different eligibilities for the military. Like I wasn't aware that all the stuff that the a spouse had access to should the other one die, because they both basically have equal rights as far as burial stuff. And that means cremation, it means urn, it means everything. It's all free.
Yeah.
Like that. So,
Oh, the cremation isn't, but everything else.
well, no, cremation is, you got to pay for that from outside source because they don't do that. But everything else, the headstone, it's all free. It's really great.
So anybody that doesn't know, the last Wednesday of every month, 2:00.
If there's
2:30, if there is somebody. But if you put it on your calendar, the last Wednesday of every month in the afternoon, 2:30. That one was at 2:30. I have seen him at 2, but that was at 2:30. And then you just look, if you're there, now when you were there, did you go up to the staff and say, I'd like to be added to your emailing list?
Oh, no.
Because the next time you're up there, do that, ask them, because then they'll add you, because when the prior director left, she had this email list put together of over hundreds of people around the community that went to. And that email list somehow got lost between her leaving and Dwayne taking over and everything. So he's building up his own new list. So tell people, if you want to be a part of it, it's the last Wednesday of the month, 2:30. Stop by to say hello to somebody, go to the staff, say, I would like to be added to your email list for the unaccompanied burials. And they'll add you into their email list. And then when they send it out, because they usually don't send it out till like the Friday or Monday before. So that's 2 days to 5 days before. And so it just, if you already have it on your calendar, then it's just a matter of reminding you and say, yes, we're having it, or no, we don't have anybody. Or I didn't get an email and call, hey, we didn't, oh, okay, you're not having it.
And I did talk to Dwayne. I talked to the you know, well, I didn't know Dwayne was the director. I talked to somebody else that said he was the director, but, maybe, well, they have an assistant director too.
Yeah, there's Dwayne, Roger, and
I talked to Roger, Dwayne.
I can't remember who the third person is.
I forget her name.
I know, I can't,
I feel bad.
she's newer, so I've met her like twice now.
It's the one job they have trouble keeping people. But actually, this one's been around for a little while now because she remembered me from last Memorial Day, so she's.
Well, that other lady before, she was there like forever,
Yeah,
seemed like.
Virginia
Yeah.
Walker, yeah. she-
Yeah, we,
And
yeah.
and Kyle, I'm going to log off.
thank you,
Thank you
Kyle.
for coming.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, I think.
Bye,
Till next
everyone.
time. All right.
Mhm, bye.